For months, royal watchers have been asking the same question. Is King Charles quietly preparing the monarchy for its next chapter? Not through dramatic announcements, not through surprise abdications, and certainly not through emotional palace speeches. Instead, many royal experts believe the biggest clues have been hiding in plain sight. Inside carefully planned public appearances, symbolic royal duties, and the growing role of one woman who, just a short time ago, was fighting one of the most difficult battles of her life. Catherine, Princess of Wales. Over the past year, she has become the focus of intense public attention, first because of her health, then because of her gradual return to royal life, and now because many believe she is stepping into a role that goes far beyond simply being the future queen. The question is no longer whether Catherine will one day wear the crown. The question is whether King Charles has already begun preparing her for that responsibility. And if that's true, what does it mean for the future of the royal family? Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe for more in-depth royal analysis, exclusive commentary, and the stories shaping the future of the British monarchy. Now, let's begin. The British monarchy has always been built on continuity. Every generation prepares the next one, often years before the public realizes it's happening. Queen Elizabeth II spent decades preparing Charles for the responsibilities of kingship. Now many observers believe Charles is quietly doing the same for Prince William and Catherine. Unlike previous generations, however, today's royal family faces enormous challenges. Public expectations have changed. Media scrutiny has intensified. Social media follows every appearance, every gesture, and every decision. Modern royals are expected to balance centuries-old traditions while remaining relatable to audiences around the world. It's not an easy task, and perhaps no one understands that better than King Charles. But when Charles became king, he inherited not only the crown, but also the responsibility of ensuring the monarchy remains relevant for generations to come. That means thinking well beyond his own reign. It means preparing those who will eventually carry the institution forward. Prince William, as heir to the throne, naturally occupies the central role in that transition. But increasingly, royal commentators have pointed out that Catherine's responsibilities have expanded alongside his. This isn't simply because she is William's wife. It's because she has become one of the monarchy's strongest public assets. Poll after poll has shown Catherine among the most trusted members of the royal family. Her calm demeanor, commitment to charitable causes, and ability to connect with people across different generations have earned widespread respect. Even during periods when she stepped back from public duties to focus on her health, public support remained remarkably strong. In many ways, her absence reminded people just how important she had become. When Catherine returned to public engagements, the response was extraordinary. Crowds gathered in large numbers. Media coverage dominated headlines. Every appearance sparked renewed interest, not only in her work, but in the future direction of the monarchy itself. Royal experts often point to what they call the Catherine effect. Whether she visits a children's hospital, attends a state banquet, or highlights British fashion designers, her appearances consistently generate enormous public attention. Items she wears frequently sell out within hours. Organizations she supports often receive increased public awareness. It's a phenomenon few members of the royal family have managed to achieve. King Charles undoubtedly recognizes that influence. Throughout his reign, he has emphasized service over spectacle, environmental causes, interfaith dialogue, community engagement. Those priorities reflect the kind of monarchy he hopes to leave behind. Catherine's public image aligns naturally with many of those goals. She rarely seeks controversy. She focuses on long-term charitable initiatives. She projects stability during uncertain times. Those qualities matter immensely in a constitutional monarchy, because ultimately, public trust remains one of its greatest strengths. Another reason many commentators believe Catherine's role is evolving involves the increasing number of significant events in which she has represented the crown. From welcoming visiting heads of state to attending major commemorations, Her presence has become increasingly central. These aren't random invitations. Every engagement sends a message. Every appearance reflects careful planning by palace officials. Royal scheduling is rarely accidental. It often signals priorities long before formal announcements are made. Perhaps the clearest example came during recent state occasions, where Catherine's position alongside senior members of the royal family highlighted her growing prominence. Body language experts, constitutional historians, and royal commentators all reached similar conclusions. She is being presented not merely as the Princess of Wales, but as an essential pillar of the monarchy's future. That future, however, depends on more than popularity. It requires preparation. History has shown that becoming queen consort involves far more than wearing magnificent gowns or attending ceremonial events. It means supporting the sovereign through constitutional responsibilities, representing the nation abroad, maintaining relationships with hundreds of charitable organizations, and serving as a symbol of continuity during periods of national change. Queen Camilla understands those responsibilities firsthand. Since King Charles ascended the throne, she has steadily expanded her public role while championing causes such as literacy and support for survivors of domestic abuse. Her transition into queenship was gradual, requiring years of public service and dedication. Many experts believe Catherine has observed that process closely, learning not only from Charles but also from Camilla. At the same time, Prince William's responsibilities continue growing. As heir to the throne, he increasingly represents the monarchy both at home and overseas. Every additional responsibility William accepts naturally creates new opportunities and expectations for Catherine. Rather than remaining in the background, she has become an active partner in shaping the public image of the next generation of royal leadership. That partnership may ultimately define the monarchy's future. Yet behind every public appearance lies another reality that often goes unnoticed: preparation, private briefings, constitutional guidance, meetings with experienced advisors, discussions about diplomatic protocol. Understanding the delicate balance between tradition and modernization. Royal historians often remind us that much of the work involved in preparing future monarchs and their spouses happens entirely behind closed doors. The public sees the ceremony. The family experiences the responsibility. And according to many commentators, those preparations may already be well underway. Which raises an intriguing question. If King Charles is indeed quietly preparing Catherine for an even greater role, how might that shape Prince William's eventual reign? And perhaps, more importantly, could the Princess of Wales become one of the most influential queens of the modern era? Those questions are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore, and the answers may already be unfolding before our eyes. Those questions become even more compelling when you look at how the monarchy has evolved over the past several years. The royal family is no longer operating in the same environment it did during Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Public expectations have shifted dramatically. Every appearance is analyzed in real time. Every decision is debated across television, newspapers, and social media. In many ways, today's monarchy faces more scrutiny than at any other point in modern history. That reality has forced King Charles to think differently about the future. Throughout his decades as Prince of Wales, Charles often spoke about modernization, sustainability, and ensuring the monarchy remained connected to the people it serves. Since becoming king, many royal commentators believe he has gradually begun putting that vision into practice. Rather than relying on dramatic reforms, Charles has chosen a quieter approach: small adjustments, carefully planned appearances, strategic responsibilities, and perhaps most importantly, placing increasing trust in the next generation. At the center of that next generation are Prince William and Catherine. Royal historians frequently point out that successful monarchies rarely depend upon one individual alone. Instead, they rely on partnerships. Queen Elizabeth II had Prince Philip. King George VI had Queen Elizabeth, later known as the Queen Mother. Now many believe William and Catherine are gradually becoming the partnership that will define the monarchy for decades to come. What makes their relationship particularly important is the balance they appear to bring. William has increasingly taken on leadership roles, environmental initiatives, homelessness, mental health awareness, and international diplomacy. Catherine has focused on early childhood development, family well-being, and long-term charitable projects that address issues affecting millions of people. Together, they present a modern image of service while maintaining respect for royal tradition. That combination has not gone unnoticed. Polls conducted over recent years have consistently placed William and Catherine among the most popular members of the royal family. While popularity alone does not determine the future of the monarchy, public confidence certainly plays an important role in maintaining its long-term stability. King Charles understands this better than anyone. He spent more than 70 years preparing to become monarch, watching firsthand how Queen Elizabeth adapted to changing times without abandoning the institution's core principles. Now he appears determined to ensure that William and Catherine are equally prepared when their time eventually comes. Preparation, however, extends far beyond ceremonial appearances. It involves learning the constitutional responsibilities that rarely make newspaper headlines, receiving private briefings, understanding relationships with government ministers, representing Britain during sensitive diplomatic occasions, supporting charities not simply by lending their names, but by building lasting partnerships. Those are responsibilities that cannot be mastered overnight. They require years of experience. That is precisely why many experts believe Catherine's gradual expansion into increasingly significant public roles is so important. Each engagement builds confidence. Each meeting strengthens relationships. Each appearance prepares her for the responsibilities that will one day accompany queenship. Another fascinating aspect of Catherine's role is her ability to connect different generations. Older supporters often admire her respect for tradition and the example set by Queen Elizabeth II. Younger audiences appreciate her openness when discussing topics such as mental health, childhood development, and family life. That broad appeal has become one of the monarchy's greatest strengths. In an age where institutions compete constantly for public attention, Catherine has managed to remain both relatable and dignified. Few public figures achieve that balance. Royal commentators have often referred to it as one of her greatest assets. Of course, Catherine is not carrying this responsibility alone. Queen Camilla continues playing an essential role during King Charles's reign. Her charitable work, particularly supporting literacy and raising awareness about domestic abuse, has gradually reshaped public perceptions over the years. While her path into public acceptance was undoubtedly challenging, many observers now recognize the consistency with which she has supported the king. Rather than seeing Catherine and Camilla as competing figures, constitutional experts often describe them as representing different generations of royal leadership. Camilla supports the current reign. Catherine represents the future. Together, they provide continuity during a period of significant transition. Princess Anne also remains a vital figure within that picture. Frequently described as one of the hardest-working members of the royal family, Anne brings decades of experience and institutional knowledge. Her practical approach has earned respect across political and public life alike. Many royal observers believe her advice continues to carry considerable weight behind palace walls. The relationship between Anne, Charles, William, Catherine, and Camilla illustrates something often overlooked in discussions about the monarchy. Its future depends not upon one individual, but upon an experienced team working together. That teamwork has become increasingly important as public expectations continue evolving. People today expect transparency, authenticity, community engagement, environmental awareness, mental health advocacy. The modern monarchy is expected to represent far more than ceremonial tradition. It must also demonstrate relevance. In many ways, Catherine appears uniquely positioned to help achieve that balance. Her early childhood initiative reflects years of research rather than short-term publicity. Her patronages often emphasize long-term impact instead of one-time appearances. Those choices suggest someone focused less on headlines and more on lasting influence. Royal historians often note that the most successful queens have rarely been those who attracted the most attention. Instead, they were the ones who strengthened the institution quietly through consistency and service. Many commentators believe Catherine possesses those same qualities. As William prepares for the enormous responsibilities that await him, having a trusted partner capable of carrying significant public responsibilities may prove invaluable. That may ultimately become King Charles's greatest legacy, not merely preserving the monarchy during his own reign, but preparing it to thrive long after his reign has ended. Every carefully planned engagement, every new responsibility, every symbolic appearance, viewed individually, they may appear routine. Viewed together, they tell a larger story. A story of preparation, a story of continuity, and a story of quiet transition taking place before the world's eyes. Of course, no one can predict exactly what the monarchy will look like 20 or 30 years from now. History has a way of surprising even its closest observers. New challenges will emerge. Public expectations will continue changing. Future generations will bring new priorities. Yet some principles are unlikely to change. Duty, service, stability, responsibility. Those values have guided the monarchy for generations, and they continue shaping its future today. Whether Catherine eventually becomes one of the defining queens of the modern era will depend not upon headlines or popularity polls, but upon decades of consistent public service. If her record so far is any indication, many believe she is already laying that foundation. King Charles appears to understand exactly what is at stake. Preparing the future is not accomplished through a single announcement. It happens gradually, quietly, one responsibility at a time, one appearance at a time, one generation preparing the next. And perhaps that is the biggest story unfolding inside the royal family today. Not conflict, not controversy, but careful preparation for the moment when William and Catherine eventually lead the monarchy into a new era. Whether that day arrives sooner or later, one thing seems increasingly clear. The groundwork is already being laid. And if the signs we've witnessed over recent months are any indication, the next chapter of the British monarchy may already be taking shape. What do you think? Has King Charles already begun preparing Catherine for her future role as queen, or are royal commentators reading too much into recent developments? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this royal analysis, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest deep dives into the stories shaping the future of the British royal family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.